Millennium Falcon, mainstay ship of the Star Wars saga, now being offered by Fanhome for people to build. A model builder by the name of the Model Gamer has taken it upon himself to build this amazing ship. After his experiences with the Enterprise, has he bitten off more than he can chew, putting together the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. Welcome back everyone to the Model Frontier. If you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, that way you don't miss a second of any of my great content. So last video we started building the Millennium Falcon. We did the gun turret, and we started the inside of the cockpit, which, you know, is quite a lot to do. This issue, we're going to kind of be zooming in on a little more of the cockpit. We're also going to start some framework, so we're going to start building the inner framework for the Falcon. We have quite a bit to do. This time we get 4 issues to do on this, and we get our first free gift. So let's take a look at that right now. So here's a look at our first free gift, and it's obviously a folder where we're going to keep our magazines. It's not like the Enterprise where we got binders. They just give us this box, so let's get it open here. Hang on a second, I'm just having a little trouble with there we go. So now there is some assembly required on this, and they give you the instructions right on the bottom here. So we're going to fold it out like this, and then it's just a matter of tucking in these flaps in order. 1, 2, and 3. So you're just going to do it like this. When we get to 3, we're going to have to push down really hard to kind of tuck that under here. And just like that, we have our box to hold our magazines. Oh, what's this? Numbers. What are these for? What are these for? Ah, that's what they're for. So they're going to go on to this part so you can tell which part of the magazine is, you know, where your magazines are. So I'm just going to throw these in here for now. And that's the free gift we get with this pack of the build. So that's our first free gift. I actually think it's better than the binders from the Enterprise. I like it. I like this method better. So, but that's a personal preference. That's of course up to your own discretion on that. So let's not waste any more time. I know you've been waiting to get to this as well as I have. So let's get on with it. So here's all the parts we get with stage 3, and we can see we got a lot to do. It's a lot of the work with the cockpit, and we got this one piece here that we're not going to need. So let's go ahead and get this open. As always, we're just going to cut along the edge here on one side and just pull it apart so we can get our pieces out. So now we're going to take this piece and set it aside because we don't actually use this piece of the hull. And this is what we're going to need first. So let me zoom in here a little bit. We got the door, the port for the cockpit, and just like before, this is a sticker. So we're just going to peel this off, and I'm finding it's going to be easier to put it in, to put one end in first and just kind of slide your finger down just like that. See how that fits in there? I hope. It's a little tough to see because it's set so deep, but hopefully you can see that. And then we just need this part from pack 1, and we're just gonna slide this in here. It does fit in here really tightly, so we're not going to need to glue it in or anything. just like that. Now we're going to set this aside to get on to the next part. So for this part, we're going to be putting in some seating, and you know, we got the 2 back seats here and the 2 front seats here. Obviously, the pilots get the more comfortable chairs. Yes, I did a little bit of stuff on this. This was just a little dry brushing to kind of make these instruments pop. I'm going to add a little more color to this a little later on. I'm also going to weather the seats up. These are going to get a little bit of a yellowing to them just so that they look satin. These are going to get a bit of a black wash to kind of make the leather look worn and everything. But for right now, because we're not gluing anything down, we're just going to push these all into place here. Like that. And then the front seats are going to go in just like that. Once we get the seats in place, we've got 2 control arms, control yokes, or whatever we want to call them, which are going to go in place here in front of the seats. Just like that. Again, we're not gluing anything yet. Obviously, I will be gluing some of this stuff down because, you know, I just want to make sure it's safe to do. What I'm probably going to do with these, like, control yokes and stuff is just put a dab of glue on the bottom there because you can see clearly where they're at, so that should hold them in place. And then we got these little arms here, which is going to be very tough to show you. They go into the holes here and here. Now, the instructions show you to put them outwards, but if you look at pictures of the Falcon, they actually go inward. So I'm going to be doing it that way myself. Again, your model, do what you want to do to make it, you know, your own. But this is the way it shows it in the movies and in pictures of the Falcon. So this is how it's going to go in. Just like that. Now these are very loose, so after this part of the video, I'm probably going to take those out and just put them off to the side until we go to glue them in place. But we're going to end, just like they show in the book, in the instructions, by putting our cockpit together like this. So that's what we're looking at right now. And that is it for this stage. So now here we are with stage 4 of the Falcon build, and the first thing we're going to need is we need this piece right here. We're going to take this piece right here, and we're going to take our cockpit, which, yes, I did take out those control arms, as I said, because I don't want anything to happen to them. And you're basically just going to fit. It's a push to fit. It goes onto these 2 lugs in the front here. And that completes the cockpit, it says. So obviously, you know, I'm going to probably do a little stuff on this, kind of dry brushing, bring it out. I don't know. We'll see what you guys want me. We'll see if that's something that'll help. I do think it's going to help bring out a lot of this stuff, but I don't know how much that's going to be seen, but we might see a little later on in this episode. Hint, hint. But for right now, we need to set this aside, and we're going to bring over the framework that we've been working on this whole time here. And we're looking at this side here, and they want us to take this part which is TF06. And we're going to line it up just like that. And that's going to be secured down with the black screws, just like all the others. Just like that. Now, I know a lot of you are probably saying, hey, don't you usually say if you're gonna go into metal, go use oil? Normally, yes. But the reason you do that is because that's usually on painted parts where the oil the paint kind of covers the threads. And if you oil them up, it cuts through those threads really easily. Since this is bare metal, the threads aren't covered with anything, so we really don't have to oil them. I mean, if you want to, you can. It won't hurt anything. But on these kinds of parts, you really don't have to do that. Now that we got that done, they want us to attach, they give us a couple of 4-part connectors, 4-hole connectors here. And they want us to attach one to this point here. Now, this is going to be a little tricky to do, but obviously we're going to do it with 2 of the black screws. Getting one in is going to be the tricky part. Once you get one of them in, though, it should go. The rest should be just fine. Just like that. And now we're going to take this piece, and I'm sure you can see where it's going to go. That's right, it's going to go right in there. And at this point, it'll stay nice and good like that. So now we just got to fix this into place with 3 of these black screws. Just like that. And now we're going to focus in on this section right here, where we're going to obviously put our other 4-part connector with another 2 of these black screws. Just like that. Now, they do want you to bring over the piece of the hull that we have here. And we're going to they're actually going to have us attach this to the ship. So what we're going to do is, this will probably be easier to do this way. You want to line up the holes here with the piece and kind of push it on in. Like that. And then we've got these silver screws, which we're going to use to fix it into place. All 8 of these are going to get a silver screw in them. Just like that, and there we go. Now that panel is on. Now obviously we know the piece we had left over from our last issue is gonna attach kind of like this to fit that off, but obviously we don't have a framework here to put that on yet. So we're gonna set that, so with that being done, that piece we're obviously gonna set aside and keep safe. But that is it for stage 4. So we're here with stage 5 of the Millennium Falcon build, and obviously I'm not showing you anything yet because this is a very exciting stage, and it's one you should be excited for as well because that's right, we get this big piece right in here. This is obviously this is the central corridor that they're gonna have us do stuff with. So excited for that, but that's not what we're actually starting with. So let's get this open. Because the first part we're going to start with is our lighting panel, which we're going to need this for. Obviously, this is going to go on the back. Now, I am planning on getting a different lighting panel for this, but it will be an easy enough process to do, and it'll be the same thing. It's just going to be a screw-in one. So I'm going to show you with this one, and then when I do the change later, I will show that to you again. So basically, you're going to line up. Basically, we want to line it up. You have two small lugs, and a hole there. So line up the locating lugs like that, and then it's going to be held in place with a single silver fixing screw. Just like that. Now we've got a couple more parts here. We've got, for the cockpit, we've got two pieces right here, and they're just going to kind of fit in on the sides. And they go in with the longer end going towards the front. And there's two tabs for two slots. They just kind of slide in place here. Like that. And like that. And obviously I am going to do some modifications on this, add some color, stuff like that. You could also run a little bit of glue right along this edge to kind of glue it in place. But again, that's when you're actually gluing stuff down. We're still not gluing anything in yet. We glue nothing in place yet. And obviously, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the passage tube here. You can see there's a groove. This is actually the bottom piece. There's a groove right here. That's where your cockpit part is going to fit. So it's going to be just like that. Now we're not gluing this in yet, so we're just going to, this is just fitting it in place so we can get an idea of what this is going to look like. There's also a groove on the top here you want to follow along. Like that. And that's just a matter of pushing it into place. And once it's in, it should kind of be looking like this. See, it's already starting to look like the Falcon here. But with that done, that is actually it for this stage. So here we are with stage 6, and obviously we got a lot of parts here to do a lot of stuff with. So let's get this opened up. Clearly we got the nose cone section to work with. So we're going to have some fun with that. And we actually are going to start off with that part. So I'm just going to push. Now there's a sprue here. This sprue, which has a bunch of parts on it. We're not going to use it in this stage, so we're just going to set that aside for later. We also have this piece, which is another part that we are not going to be using, so we're going to set that aside. So the first things we're focusing in on is this. And what we're going to do is, again, we're not gluing any of this. None of this is getting glued. That's important to note. You got some grooves in the bottom here, and you got tabs on this, so you're just going to line those up. Push them in place. Just like that. Be careful, this is plastic, it could break. Now we're going to take the nose part. You got a locating groove right there, so we're just going to groove that into place. And like I said, we're not gluing anything yet, so it's going to be loose in there. So it's like that. Now to hold everything together, we have this ring. Which is going to go on the outer part of this. Trying to see how it goes on. Just like that. And that, for right now anyway, without gluing it down, we'll hold that in place. Now we're going to get our hallway here. And now just to show, as a show, we're going to put this on. Wait, did I put this on wrong? May have put that on wrong. Stand by, hang on. No, I didn't. This is going to have to get glued eventually, but so you got a groove here, and you got a groove there. You got a bolt there to put in place. This is really going to be a tight fit. Actually, I think it'll be easier if I put the ring on here first. Again, we're not doing anything permanent here. This is just temporary. Put the nose back in, and this front part here. As I say, once we glue all this together, it's going to be much better. But we're not being told to glue anything yet, so we're not going to be. But there we go. We got an idea as to what our passage tube is going to look like. Now we got to set all this aside. We need these parts because we're about to put together this section of the hull, of the interior. So it's going to be kind of sitting like this. What we want to do first is we want to first of all find which side is which. Looks like this side's going to go like this on that part. And then this side is going to go like this on the other side. So we're going to start by peeling off the backing. We're going to start on this side here. We're going to peel off this backing. And then we're going to start in the middle. And then what we're going to want to do is we're kind of going to want to push every link down. You'll see there's little dips in there. You want it to kind of fit into those. And then when you got that done, you're just going to take this end here and you're going to stick it flush to this part here. Just like that. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Like that, and then we're doing the same thing with this side. Just like that. Now we're going to put this off to the side. And they're nice enough to give you 2 sets of these, because these are what we're going to be doing next. We're going to be attaching our control arms to this. Now you'll notice there's 3 with bent ends and 1 with a non-bent end. Use a pair of sprue cutters, and I want this first one without the bent end. You want to make sure you don't cut them off in the wrong spot. There we go. Now why do I want this one first? Because this one I'm going to take my tweezers here. This one goes into this slot here. Hang on, I got it. You know what? I think this will be easier to do if I take this piece off and we get these in. So I'm going to get this one in here first. That one's going to go in just like that. And then these other three are going to go into the 3 holes up there. So I'm going to go put those in and then show you what that looks like. Because this is going to take me a few minutes. So there we go, just like that. Now those are in place. Now, what they want you to do is kind of assemble the entire cockpit thing. So let's just go through that real quick. So I'm not going to put this back on right now. I'm not going to fully assemble the thing. I'm just going to show you what they want you to do. So you're basically putting your cockpit part in like this. And then you'll have the instrument panel, which will slide into place just like this. So it's a little tricky to show, but it'll all hold together once you get the assembly done. So once again, we gotta put the cockpit into position, following the grooves, and then these grooves will perfectly fit right where these go. And then once you put the top of it on, once you get the top piece on, you'll see it'll stop that from popping out. With that done, that is all there is to do in this stage, and that is all there is to do in this pack. So I'm just going to do something for fun real quick here, so stand by for just a few moments while I do this, and then we're going to take a look at what this is going to look like. Now, with nothing glued in, obviously, here's our Falcon cockpit so far. Now, again, we haven't glued anything down yet, but there it is. So, like I said, that is it for this stage, and this pack is done. I'll leave you with that to think about. And that's it for pack 2. So now we're starting to get an idea of what the cockpit's going to look like all put together. This is going to be a great time between issues. Between packs now, this would be a great time if you wanted to weather up some of the Falcon interior, if you wanted to paint some of this stuff, bring out some colors, do a little dry brushing to make stuff pop. This would be a great time between packs to do it. So I've already done it myself, so I'll show you that next pack. I'll show you what I did. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Other than that, I will catch you next time on the Model Frontier.